podcast called Jellison podcast.
First ever type 1 diabetic in UFC history.
Doing fine, nice to be with you.
Get out! He's like, yeah.
My tunnel vision and my periphery, I'm like off field.
Hey, you know how it is, though. Hey, when your team.
I don't remember that. That's crazy.
What's up, everyone? We're back with another episode of the Jellison podcast. Today, I have a very special guest, Kelvin Amayo. Kelvin, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me. How's everything?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you so much for coming on. I know we kind of got connected through your business, Overseas Fits, and kind of connected over social media. So I want to kick things off, but just for people that may not know, have you explain kind of what that's about.
So Overseas Fits, different elements. I started it really for people that didn't really get a spotlight no more after high school and college, and then probably in the sense of a year and a half through like quarantine, I like it kicked off. So I mean, we was highlighting fits, people's stories, and doing activations with different like events for our overseas athletes. So I mean, Overseas Fits is like you really have to go on it and actually understand what we really do, and it's basically telling the story.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think you first saw my work when I had Sam Decker on, and he was kind of talking about his experiences. So then I started looking into what you have building, and I mean, I was blown away. I love all your stuff that you guys have been doing, and I mean, it's really a shame that a lot of guys, they go overseas and then, I mean, their alma mater, the people that watch them in high school, they kind of forget about them because it's not the NBA, it's not the top league, I guess. But I mean, that's one thing I admire about you and your platform, what you're doing for people is, I mean, giving those people an opportunity, all those hoopers an opportunity to kind of show themselves and highlighting them.
No, definitely. Yeah. So that's why me and a couple of the team itself work daily to just give people a chance and showcase what they got going on, whether it's on the court, whether it's a skill they have, is either painting, clothes, or poetry, reading books, whatever you do. Like, you feel me? Just let me be able to have an outlet. Somebody will showcase you. You feel me? So I mean, a lot of these people, women or men, don't have no place to be showcased. So this is Overseas Fits is there for them.
And why do you think that overseas basketball gets kind of overlooked by fans?
You got to understand, a lot of people can't watch it. Mm-hmm. You don't really know what people are making. A lot of things when you work, you think about the world. Oh, this person making $100 million. This person making this, one person making that. So you're drawn to that, right? Mm-hmm. But overseas athletes, like overseas basketball is like an unknown. You feel me? So that's why platforms myself, Swiss Cultures, a lot of different ones, G League TV, across the water basketball. There's a few others that's like highlighting these overseas athletes and giving them a platform they need, and let other people understand, let people know they're still doing something good.
And I mean, how did Overseas Fits kind of get kickstarted? Like, what was the final straw, I guess, for lack of a better term, of when you started it?
I can say it now. I say it to the people around me, and probably the first time out in the world will know is like quarantine. You feel me? Like, I had it a year before. I probably had it a year before we really was doing anything with it. I was overseas playing. I didn't use it. Then the quarantine happened, and in sense of the COVID and all that, and we were just home. I was just home working out, and I'm like, damn, like I seen now it was like the wave of lives. Then I had my first person. I just had like a bunch of overseas athletes showcasing their closets. Marcus Thornton, Sean Armand, Kevin Punter, a lot of different guys. Oh yeah, we had Marshawn Brooks that showcased his closet. Like, it was a lot of people. A lot of people were showing us a lot of love. So, and I just kept. Then we ended up getting Kelsey Plum. Then we ended up getting T Cooper. Then we started getting like real big names. So it was really good for us, and then we just kept on going.
And then, I mean, did you really expect this growth? And how has your vision of what you set out to do, how has that changed as time's gone on?
It changes. Like, I mean, nobody gives you a blueprint of business. Definitely, if you're a basketball athlete, I've been playing for so long, so nobody gives you a blueprint. So how I measure overseas fits is how I felt when not being recognized. So I made sure to not get drawn out of just making headlighting people that always get the headlines. So I mean, putting people in position to be seen. I mean, that's what people need will like truly likes, like the being seen, the being talked about, getting a chance to be spotlighted.
I mean, and then you mentioned a couple gals there. You guys do a really good job of also including women, and I mean, we could go on for hours and hours about how women's basketball is kind of disrespected as well.
Right. So I mean, that's why we implement women how we do. Sometimes we kickstart women first because I mean, they like it's like they're like SP 500. Like they legitimately could be. Their basketball and what they got going on in business and all that stuff is gonna get to a whole nother level. So why not highlight them? Why not showcase what they got going on? I mean, because I don't know, it's only women supporting women nowadays. I mean, why not us? Like, why not other brands? Why not other companies showcasing women how we showcase them? I mean, so like, yeah, we do as much as we can. We have dialogue daily with a lot of them. So I mean, it's more to come with that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it kind of. I mean, I always see stuff on Instagram where like what Steph Curry makes in like a week, and then the top WNBA player's salary, and they're like the exact same, something crazy like that. So I mean, the only way they're gonna keep building their salaries and get more money push into the WNBA is people like you and other organizations and brands kind of help them out. I mean, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. So I mean, we just as good as you just saying. I think I seen something like Steph will make like a $43 million. Then the whole WNBA is making like 14.6 million. So just stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of money in this world. I mean, so I know they can definitely start paying these women a lot more.
Yeah.
I know they definitely start paying them a lot more. But yeah, no, just that's stuff like that. Is like you got Tasha Cloud that do activist stuff. She ended up foregoing a whole season to push the narrative. So that was very dope on her. There's a lot of women that showcase real resilience with in this everyday life here. So why not give them their flowers while they're here?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
What types of things, if you want to share them, if they're kind of on the DL, you don't have to say it, but is there anything you guys are planning on doing in the future that's any different than what you guys are doing right now?
Yeah, we have a lot coming up. We have a lot going on. We couldn't we can't implement everything in the summer because you gotta understand overseas athletes usually just have 2 to 3 months, maybe 4 months. So I mean, we definitely got some stuff that's definitely going to highlight them on a whole nother level. And just it's more to come. Like we will definitely want to start using your platform as well. Start using other people's platform to join to build something that has never been before.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I mean, whenever you need literally anything, you hit me up.
Definitely,
I'd be more than happy to help. But
definitely.
I mean, one thing that I found was also interesting. I mean, you started this while you're playing, so it was making me think of like, how blessed do you feel that you've kind of found something that you can continue well after playing days?
To be honest, like sometimes you don't really realize what you have done while you're in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's definitely something that is dope. Like that's really the word. Like it's very dope, and I'm truly appreciative to people that support the page, support what we have going on. The people that like came on board without really knowing me as a person, but then just loving the work I was doing. So that right there, like that's right there is speechless, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Speechless.
I mean, I told you this the other day. I wasn't even 100% sure who was running the account until like a week or two ago.
Right.
But
no, right.
Like I mentioned, like I love what you guys are doing. In your experience, how hard is it for guys to move on after the ball stops bouncing?
So you ask the question again, please.
Yeah, you're good. Like in your experience, guys that you've been around, maybe your stories that you've heard, how hard is it for basketball players to move on after the ball stops bouncing, after their playing days?
It's very hard. You see guys that when they start, they probably had a good start on when they truly start. They're probably doing something amazing. You see them posting a lot. You see them traveling. You see them You see them playing here, playing there. Close here, close there. You feel me? Then you start watching people get smarter within the years. Like, oh, I got to save. Oh, I got to start getting businesses. Year 3, year 4, I got to do this. I got to do that. Then, but with all that saying, they really don't know what's the next after basketball. So, like, you probably played professionally basketball for 7 years is like the span. Sometimes 4. But if you're really, really in a high level, maybe 10 to 12 years you're playing for real. Not when you talk about NBA and all those. I'm talking about overseas basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of those guys sometimes really don't know what they want to do. So, but now people are trying to transition to be businessmen, and get barbershops, getting that. So I'm watching it, and that's why we like to highlight it, because it's very hard to understand what you want to do, because the only thing we knew for so long is being a basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're getting smarter. We're understanding, like, all right, we have to know what we want to do, what money, the certain money we have. Like, all right, let's invest in this, let's invest in that, because if you don't invest and you're done playing, nobody is going to fend for you.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to fend for you. I mean, your friends that's there when you're popping bottles and all that, when it's time to ask for something or need them, they won't be there. You feel me? And that's 95% of the time. So you just got to make sure you're smart. I mean, it's cool to have fun. I tell you have fun all the time, but always remember you need to have a plan A and B. Sometimes your A is your B as well.
I mean, fair enough. I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, it's kind of taken players in the past in all different sports. You name boxing, NFL, baseball, basketball, whatever. It's taken their failures to kind of have current athletes learn what to do and how to go about it. But I think my next point that I was going to go to was, are you guys looking at any possible deals or sponsors or anything of that sort in terms of the current college athletes after the NIL letter was signed?
We're not doing that. Right now, we're not doing that. Only thing we do have some interns that's coming in. The only thing we're teaching them is how to be an entrepreneur. We're teaching them how to be an entrepreneur. We're teaching them how to, be a businessman or a businesswoman and learn how to run whatever you have going on, because that's something I wasn't taught. A few injuries had to make me learn how to think, how to build a team, how to just have these type of conversations. You feel me? These type of conversations you don't want to have. The type of things you probably would have back in the day. I would have had somebody do for me, but me being a person with now being able to do it myself.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, if there's any piece of advice that you could tell your younger self, what would it be? Would it be about the things we've been talking about today?
Yeah, I would tell myself, don't be so dependent on nobody. Don't be so dependent on nobody. Be yourself. Be comfortable with any decision you made, and just fight through. It's okay to fight through. you came from a lot. Like, you feel me? I went through we came from a lot, so why not keep pushing? Just keep pushing. Because everybody else, no matter, LeBron, who's a billionaire, he came from a lot of different circumstances. Everybody has come through from the hood. He's probably been through one family home. I mean, just stuff like that. You can if you're really locked in and you know what you want in life, it can happen for you.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to get to kind of your career in basketball and your path throughout high school and college. So leading up to like your last year or two of high school, what was a recruiting process like for you?
Recruiting was all over because I was like one of the kids, like I was very good, but I didn't have no grades. So it was me and Shaquille Thomas, Tim Thomas' nephew, in a prep school team. We played for 2 years there called Nia Prep. Number 10 my first year, then number 6 my last year. And then I had a lot of different schools recruit me, like Pittsburgh, like Seton Hall, Rutgers, West Kentucky, Marshall University. A couple of schools. I had schools that was interested in, but when they ended up, Oregon State, so schools see my grades, a lot of them fell back a little bit and wanted me to go JUCO. But at that time, JUCO, nobody wanted to go JUCO. It was like you was going to jail when you was going to JUCO. So I didn't. I was like, you know what? Now I'll just go to school. So I ended up going to Marshall University, Conference USA for a year. Then I left there my first year, go to Iona. So I went to go play with my friends in Iona.
Mm-hmm. And what was that experience like to be with them at Iona?
Guys like Isaiah Williams, David Lavery. I knew of AJ English, but we got more closer when I got to school. Yeah, Tavon Sledge that I went to St. Benedict's with. Mike Poole, I went to St. Ben's with. He transferred in from Rutgers. It was like a school that a lot of us shouldn't have been at, but everybody's journey was different. They end up just going to that school. Then you had guys. So it was a process. We had a hard-nosed coach that let us play a freestyle game. We had Jared Grasso, probably one of the best assistant coaches recruiting wise. So that was good. So he got the talent there. We won a lot. We won a lot. We won the MAC a few times. So that was cool. So a lot through that, I got injured a lot of the time. So I got injured 2 times, and I'm tearing my knee up twice. So I can't add just a lot of the process of just rehabbing. A lot of rehabbing. So yeah.
And then you also played. You played 2 years with them, and then you ended up transferring again. So what was it like to play for 3 schools within the span of 5 years?
Again, just a process. Like with me not really knowing what I wanted to do. So when you come up with things, when you grow up, let me think about it. When you're growing up, you don't know you're gonna be that good. Then you don't really have people who have done what you have done before. So now you're just trying instead of having a plan. So I knew I was good. We didn't really have a plan after I went through one letdown of being academic ineligible coming into school. My first year, I was supposed to when I committed to Towson University. So I got academic ineligible. Now I'm in multiple different schools. Now I'm just still trying to figure it out. I still have people with me, but it's me still trying to figure out because this is my life. You gotta understand. Sometimes we're like, oh, we have this person, but they have lived their life before. You feel me? Like you're going through a process that you solely are really going through. Mm-hmm. Your mother, your father, none of that. So so when kids are going through a lot of different things, sometimes I'll be like, truly figuring, trying to think like how did I feel, how did they feel at that point in time? Because it was like a dark space. I set out 2 years in a row. So now you're talking about being number 6 in the country and a prep school, leading in scoring, talked about all over to not really playing for 2 years in college, and then getting injured, never been injured before. So all that is, so a lot of times I'm laughing, I'm partying, I'm doing things, but I'm still in the dark space. You feel me? Not understanding your feelings growing up. So so then me going to LMU, it was a gift because I ended up getting my master's. I ended up getting my knee back strong, and that's why I continue to play. I still continue to play for now, but it still probably wasn't a decision I probably should have made. I probably should have went somewhere else. When you talk about basketball, or when you talk about basketball wise. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm actually happy. Everything still has happened for me.
Mm-hmm. And how is it? I mean, going through all the adversity you went through, I mean, just in college, I mean, how has that helped you now for when you graduated and began your pro career here in the last handful of years?
True. And that's why everything I do, right? Somebody told me something the other day. Like, we think we don't get opportunity, right? But sometimes we do get the opportunity. Sometimes we don't look at it as opportunity. Right. So me jumping around schools, me doing this, me thinking, oh, they're not messing with me, or this recruiting, I'm not getting the recruiting I want and all that. But it's probably times I didn't do the right thing. For me, it's probably times I'm thinking they're not watching me, but they are watching me. So all that is opportunity. So so as a man now, I get to see it in different lens. I get to reflect in many different ways. I get to reflect. I feel like with me now thinking the correct way, not like always thinking the world don't like me. So so that's why I can generally run the page and run this, because I felt like I was underdog. I know a lot of people in this world feel like they're underdogs. A lot of people probably had opportunity. They don't think it was opportunity. So, just giving them something they could get up and look forward to. Like, you feel me? Going on a page like, oh, somebody highlighted me, somebody spotlighted me. I know that'll give them a push they probably didn't have that day. So just the little things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take the focus off you, but I mean, for me, like I've had so many people show their support and kind of highlight me on their different platforms. Like, I was in a magazine this past year, and like I can't put into words like what that means to someone to get that recognition when they've been working their ass off and no one's really paying attention to it. And I feel like it's much more, it's much bigger for especially athletes.
Tell me about it. So just building something what I'm building, building something what you're building, and you're getting somebody reflecting on the great work you have done. That's beautiful. You feel me? A lot of people don't get credited. So when you do get credited, it's dope. When people write me or text me like what you have done for overseas athletes or the culture itself is dope. That right there, it probably takes it's probably only a sentence, but it continues to make us push and give us other ideas to do. You feel me? So yeah, like that's why we made the pay. Like, when you going back to asking why we made overseas fits, yeah, just to people to get an outlook of who they really are. Mm-hmm. and let their friends really enjoy them while they're here. A lot of people don't get highlighted or spotlighted while they're here a lot. A lot of people like, oh, RP or this, where we come from. So just still giving people a chance to be who they are while they're here, and then everybody enjoy it.
Yeah, that it's hard to put into words like what that means to people, but you've obviously done a great job, and your path in this aspect of your life or chapter of your life, however you want to say it, it's really just beginning. So right. You can only imagine the things that you and the rest of the team will be able to do, for years to come now.
Yeah, and sometimes, like you said, like before, you don't think about it. Like I sometimes don't even think about it. I'm just in a high right now that we have something people like to be around and like to go on. So we check. We checked I got endless calls. I'm sorry, but like we check the insights. We check the insights and we check who comes on, who does it, who reposting and all that. And it's still sometimes like it's shocking, like how the insights really look. So, I mean, so like it's a process, and we're continuing to do things, and we continue to try to do the things the correct way. To build.
Yeah, I mean, I personally never look at insights just because I think about it too much. I can't differentiate like, oh, this many people, like my last 6-7 podcasts, I haven't looked at how many people downloaded it or watched it or whatever.
Got you.
I'm just trying to focus on what it is. I mean, but like for you can probably differentiate that, and you won't let it affect your mind.
No, we usually use insights for like when we're doing the events, like we're doing events and like we're getting sponsorships. So, like a lot of people who want to sponsor you, they look at your insights. Yeah. They want to see who's engaging, who's reposting, and all of that stuff. So that's how you usually get. That's how you get the sponsorships you need through social media.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yes.
Before I let you go, I know we're fairly close to time. I want to talk about. Obviously, you play overseas.
Yes.
What was the process of signing that first overseas deal?
Sure. The process was crazy. Like my first year, I was trying to do the G League. So I get into the draft, don't get drafted. I got promised with certain teams. I ended up working out with. I'm playing with I started playing. Let me go back a little bit. I'm sorry.
You're good.
I'm trying to think of like the timetable, everything. Hold on a second. Okay, boom. I end up trying to do the G League thing. I get my name on the thing with the New York. I'll be forgetting the names. That's why I moved back a little bit, trying to think. What's the New York? What's the Brooklyn Nets G League team name?
I have no clue, honestly.
Yeah. So while I try to do forget all that. I tried to do the G League. I ended up working out with the Knicks G League team for a while. Then my agent was telling me, "You're gonna get an overseas gig." I ended up going to overseas the following year. Well, the few months. I ended up going to the country of Georgia. Guys like Corey Sanders, Chuck Bryant, and a bunch of other guys was there. So that was my first year, my first contract over there. And it was a process. You feel me? Like now you're really not home. You feel me? So I had to really lock in. I wasn't a person that played the game all the time. I wasn't like I wasn't a partier. Like I'm not a partier. So I wasn't like, let's go to the club and all that stuff. So now I'm in the crib playing 2K all day on FaceTime. And then we'll go back to the gym. And I had a Serbian coach, so we would practice 3 times a day, low key. And so this is my rookie year, like really. So it was cool. Then I had some battles against Corey. That was a good battle. So, I mean, then I ended up leaving. Then I ended up a couple months later, I ended up going to a different country. So a lot of that means just saying that it was just a process. Mm-hmm. So everybody be like, oh, you could play there, you could play there, you could do this. I try to tell people now, like if you have a gig early, when you got out of school, just take it. You feel me? It's not about money when you leave school. It's about like actually getting in the right market. When you get in the right market, you can always build yourself up when you're in the right market from the get-go. So if you don't get to the right market in that second year, now you have to play catch up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you've done a really good job of doing that too over in Iran.
Yeah.
What's the basketball culture like over there? I know obviously just the pop culture and how they live is completely different than it is over here in the
To me, where my agent told me to go to Iran, and he said just to show them who I really was. I mean, it was cool to me. You feel me? I didn't have a problem. I'm a person that's really quiet and like being in the crib. So like that's Iran. You're not gonna be doing too much. Ain't no party scene. You can't drink. You ain't gonna do too much. So a lot of the time I would just be in the gym. I'd be in the gym, and that first year I showcased probably my best basketball for real, because that year before, only thing I did was work out 3 to 4 times a day. And so I went there, I was like super ready. Like I ended up getting MVP, scoring champion, defensive player of the year, all types of stuff. And my team, I mean, I played a lot of minutes and my team was okay, but me personally and my coach, like literally let me be who I need to be. Then the second year going back to Iran, it was more like me just fitting on the team and not being who I was. And sometimes me being a man now, learning that because I feel like I transitioned to a different person this past year, just understanding the business side of things and the sport and business side of things off the court. So sometimes a lot of things is bigger than you.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Is it hard to kind of bounce between those different cultures? And I mean, like it's way different over there in terms of how the basketball like ops and all that stuff is actually run, the business side of it.
To be honest, it's anywhere you go is going to be hard. It don't matter if you're in Iran, you're in China, you're in DR, Puerto Rico, Turkey. Because I mean, you could say, "Oh, Iran." So people got money problems in Turkey. People got money problems in a lot of different areas in Greece. All these nice areas. So like the business side of things is always going to be the business side of things. It don't matter where you at.
Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, last thing before I let you go is what's next for you in terms of your basketball career?
So I have a few gigs my agent has told me about, and a couple of people hit me about. I'm sorry. Yeah, I have a few gigs my agent has told me about, and a few other people has hit me up about. So just basically winding down and getting my work in, and then signing for the next year, and for me, and just making sure my team is ready, because it is hard to continue to build while you're not here in the country. So just make sure my team is ready so we can still have great content out while I'm playing.
Mm-hmm. Well, good luck with both of those things. Tell everyone where they can find you guys on social media, your website, and all that good stuff.
So social media, Overseas Fits. We're gonna have new content coming out. We just did the third team. We're gonna do third team, second team, first team on players, athletes, women, and men. We have a lot of other things. We got some stuff coming up. So just come on Overseas Fits, and we'll definitely make sure we bring you closer to everything we have going on.
Yes, sir. Everyone check them out. I'll put that in the description. I mean, hey, I can't thank you enough for, the support that you've given me already, everything that you're doing, and coming on, spending a little time on the podcast.
No, I appreciate you. If you need anything, I got you.
Yes, sir. Stay safe.
No, thank you, man. Appreciate you again.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro.